Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast.
Great to be here.
Today, we're looking at a name many of you know well, Chipotle. The big question we're tackling is, based on the latest information, is Chipotle a good time to buy now?
It's always interesting, isn't it, taking a brand we see everywhere and putting on that investor hat.
Exactly. We'll be unpacking everything from financial reports, analyst views, market sentiment, all the key pieces to help you understand the investment picture for Chipotle right now.
Yeah, we'll cover the fundamentals, the technical side, what might be coming down the pike, to the whole picture.
And hey, before we jump in, if you enjoy these analyses, please subscribe, like, and maybe drop a comment.
Absolutely. And if there's a specific company you want us to look into next time, let us know in the comments too.
Okay, let's unpack this Chipotle story. Many of us know the burritos, the bowls, the guac. But what does the company actually look like for an investor today?
Well, first off, it's definitely a leader. In that fast casual space in North America, they're right at the top. Known for sustainability efforts, strong digital ordering.
And those customizable menus, yeah. People love that. And they're big, right? How many locations?
The sources mentioned 3,482 restaurants at the end of fiscal 24, and they added 255 new ones just that year.
Wow, 255. That's quite a pace. And a lot of those have the Chipotlanes, the drive-thrus.
Exactly. Chipotlanes are a big part of the new openings and their digital strategy.
Okay, so scale is there. What about the financial health? How are the numbers looking fundamentally?
Pretty solid, actually. For fiscal year 2024, total revenue hit $10.36 billion. That's a 14.3% jump from the year before.
14% growth. What's driving that mainly?
It's a mix. Those new openings we mentioned, plus really strong comparable restaurant sales growth, that was 10.9% for the year.
10.9, that's impressive for existing stores. And profitability.
Also strong. Net income for FY24 was $1.13 billion. Net profit margin, 10.9%. Diluted EPS hit $45.87.
Okay.
And importantly, the operating margin improved too, up to 17.7%. So they're growing, but also getting more efficient, it seems.
And has that momentum continued into this year? What did Q2 show?
Yeah, Q2 2025 kept it going. Revenue growth was 10.8% year over year, and management reaffirmed their guidance for double-digit EPS growth for the full year 2025.
All right, and what about their balance sheet? Debt, cash.
This is a key point, actually. Chipotle carries basically no significant long-term debt as of Q2 2025, very conservative capital structure.
No debt. In this environment, that's pretty remarkable for a company expanding so fast.
It really is. It gives them a lot of flexibility. They had a strong cash position, too. $1.19 billion in cash and equivalents as of June 30th, 2025.
And cash flow.
Operating cash flow for 2024 was $1.78 billion. Free cash flow margin was over 10%.
Which lets them do what? Buy back stock.
Exactly. They repurchased $540 million worth of shares in 2024. That strong free cash flow funds growth keeps the balance sheet clean and allows shareholder returns.
So it's fascinating how they're managing this aggressive growth alongside such a robust, debt-free balance sheet.
Yeah.
That raises a question, though. How are they sustaining this growth? And are there any warning signs underneath those strong headline numbers?
That's the perfect transition. Because while the overall picture looks great, if you dig into that Q2 2025 report, there's a detail that, well, it caught investors' attention.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting then. What exactly did those recent Q2 earnings tell us that might give us pause?
Right. So total revenue for Q2 25, it grew 3.0% to $3.1 billion. Okay, that sounds fine. But how it grew is key. It was mainly driven by new restaurant openings.
Okay, not existing stores?
Exactly. The comparable restaurant sales actually fell 4.0%.
Fell 4%. Ouch. Why?
Primarily due to declining transaction volumes. Fewer people or fewer orders at those established locations. It was offset a bit by higher average tickets. Prices went up, but still fewer transactions.
That's a critical detail. That's the kind of thing investors watch closely, right? The health of the core existing business.
Precisely. It's a point of scrutiny. Even though overall revenue grew because of the new stores, that comp sales dip signals a potential issue with traffic at the existing base.
So how did management react? Did they address this?
They did, and quite proactively, it seems. The sources show they launched a series of initiatives almost immediately. Think marketing, loyalty programs.
Like what specifically?
Well, in July 2025, they had the biggest National Avocado Day promo ever, tied with an Avalado sweepstakes. They used Snapchat AR, expanded their Summer of Extras loyalty stuff. Real engagement drivers.
Okay, trying to get people excited again.
Then in August, big back-to-school push, they ran Chipotle IQ. That's like a trivia game. Participation was up 20% year over year, over $1 million in prizes.
Gamification, interesting.
Yeah, and they launched Chipotle U Rewards for students, better rewards, even a co-branded thing with Urban Outfitters for dorm stuff.
Targeting specific demographic. And menu news.
Yes, for September, they brought back carne asada. That's usually a limited time offer that pulls people in.
Right, I remember that one. So connecting this back, these moves seem like a direct response to combat that transaction decline.
Absolutely. It shows they're not ignoring the comp sales issue. They're actively using marketing, loyalty, and menu innovation to try and turn that traffic trend around. Crucial for a growth stock like this.
So what does this all mean for where Chipotle is headed? It sounds like they're definitely not just relying on opening new stores. They're innovating, pushing hard on other fronts too.
That's right. Especially in technology and thinking bigger globally.
Let's talk tech first. Digital sales are a big part of their story, aren't they?
Huge. Digital accounted for 38% of their revenue in Q2 2025. That's massive engagement, and Chipotle's are a big driver of that efficiency.
38%, wow. And are they pushing that further? Any new tech?
Definitely. The sources mentioned something really cutting edge, the debut of Chipotle.
Chipotle, like Zipline.
Exactly. Autonomous aerial delivery service. In partnership with Zipline, they're testing drone delivery in select Texas markets. Precision delivery from 300 feet.
Drone delivery for burritos. That's ambitious. Testing the future of fulfillment, I guess.
It really is. A test for next-gen efficiency, reaching customers in new ways. Imagine a restaurant doubling as a mini drone distribution hub.
Okay, beyond the futuristic tech, what about plain old expansion? More stores.
Yeah.
Going international.
Yes, very aggressive on expansion. The plan for 2025 is 285 to 315 new store openings, continuing that strong pace from last year.
And internationally, I heard something about Asia.
Correct. They announced their entry into Asia via a joint venture with SPC Group. First locations planned for South Korea and Singapore in 2026.
Okay, South Korea and Singapore, that's a big step.
It is. So this raises that important question again. Can these big strategic plays, drone delivery, international expansion, can they really offset the pressure we saw on comparable sales and ignite the next wave of significant growth?
That is the question. They're clearly investing heavily in these future drivers. But how is the market reacting to all this? Are analysts buying the story? What are the technicals showing for the stock price right now?
Good questions. Let's look at the market lens. Technically, the stock, post that 2024 split, was trading between roughly $3,150 and $3,425 from July to September 2025.
Okay, a defined range. Where's the support and resistance?
Sources show good buying interest, support, down around the $3,100 to $3,150 level. Resistance has been kicking in up near $3,400 to $3,450, which makes sense near recent highs after earning.
And the indicators. Moving averages, RSI.
The 15-day moving average is around $3,250, acting as support for the current trend. The longer-term 200-day is near $3,080, confirming that sustained upward trend is still intact.
Okay, so trend looks positive.
Yeah, and the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, it's been in the 62 to 67 zone. That shows strong momentum, but it's not yet screaming overbought, which might suggest an immediate pullback.
What about MERID?
MERID is positive, which also points to upward momentum. But there are some early signs of short-term consolidation. Maybe the stock needs to pause and catch its breath a bit after the run-up.
Interesting technical picture. Now, what about the analysts? You mentioned the Q2 earnings beat expectations. How did Wall Street react?
Sentiment seems quite positive, actually. Goldman Sachs upgraded the stock to buy, setting a $3,600 price target right after those Q2 results.
A buy from Goldman? What was their reasoning?
They pointed to margin leverage, getting more profit per dollar of sales, and strong digital engagement as key drivers.
Okay. Any others?
Morgan Stanley kept their overweight rating and bumped their target up to $3,500. They specifically called out the Chipotle expansion and operating leverage.
So despite that comp sales dip we discussed, major analysts are still bullish, focusing on margins, digital, and expansion.
It seems so. They appear to be looking past that short-term comp figure, betting on management strategy and the longer-term growth drivers. The earnings beat itself, $11.24 versus $10.97 expected, certainly helped fuel that positive view.
Any negative news or insider selling weighing on it?
No major adverse news reported recently. Media sentiment seems stable, maybe slightly positive. There were some insider sales in August, but sources indicate they were mostly tied to RSU vesting Stock awards becoming available and covering taxes doesn't look like significant concerning net selling by executives.
Okay, so looking ahead, what are the potential catalysts, things investors should watch for in the next, say, 3-6 months?
Short term, the big one is the Q3 earnings report, probably late October. That'll give us the next read on comp sales and margins. Also, any news on food cost inflation is always relevant.
Like input costs.
Plus, you have index rebalancing, sometimes impacting flows, S&P index changes around September 20th. And then holiday promotions starting mid-October could boost digital gifting and sales.
And longer-term catalyst.
Continued store openings at that fast pace, progress on the international front, especially in Asia, more growth from digital and Chipotlanes, and continued focus on improving those operating margins.
Now, you also sometimes hear rumors or more speculative things swirling around companies. Anything like that mentioned for Chipotle?
Yeah, a few interesting whispers. Talk about testing smaller, digital-only kitchen formats. That could be big for dense urban areas.
Lower rent, faster service. Makes sense.
Rumors also about specific menu innovations tailored for those new Asian markets. Localization is key there. And ongoing talk about expanded automation, like robotics in food prep, to tackle labor costs and consistency.
Robotics, that's always a hot topic.
And, there's always that background chatter about whether a major strategic investor might be quietly building a position. That always gets the market talking.
So summing up this section, it seems the market, particularly analysts, are giving Chipotle the benefit of the doubt on the comp sales, focusing on the bigger picture strategy and future potential. But, of course, no investment is risk-free.
Absolutely not. It's crucial to look at the potential downsides, too.
That's a great lead-in. For all of Chipotle's strengths and these exciting plans, what are the real potential headwinds? What risks should you, our listener, keep firmly in mind?
Right. Let's talk risk. Stock-specific, food safety is always a background concern for any restaurant. Chipotle's had issues in the past, and while they've improved processes, another major incident would hit the brand and sales hard.
That's a big one, reputationally. What else?
Input costs. The price of avocados, beef, dairy, these things fluctuate, sometimes wildly. That's a direct hit to their margins if they can't pass it all on.
Yeah, commodity risk. Labor.
Definitely. Tight labor markets, rising minimum wages. That puts pressure on operating margins, especially when your model relies on fresh prep. And then there's execution risk, meaning can they actually pull off this aggressive expansion smoothly? Can they make these big digital bets like drone delivery actually work efficiently? A misstep there could slow growth.
Okay, those are company-specific risks. What about broader market stuff?
Well, Chipotle, like most restaurants, is sensitive to the economy. If consumer confidence drops, people cut back on eating out, even fast casual. That's a macro risk.
Makes sense. Competition.
Always fierce. Other fast casual chains, traditional fast food places stepping up their game, even meal kits, they're all fighting for that same customer dollar.
And regulations.
Could be a factor. Changes to labor laws, ESG reporting requirements, health and safety mandates. These can add costs or operational complexity.
So it really highlights that even a strong performer like Chipotle isn't immune to external pressures or internal execution challenges. Balancing that risk against the growth story is the key decision.
That's exactly it. It's never just about the potential upside.
Okay, so we've gone through the financials, the recent performance nuance, the exciting innovation, market sentiment, and the crucial risks. Let's try to synthesize this. If someone listening right now is asking that core question, is Chipotle a good time to buy? How do you bring all these threads together? What's the verdict?
All right, if I had to put a rating on it, maybe an 8 out of 10 for an overall investment thesis.
An 8 out of 10. Why that score?
Those strengths are really compelling. You've got consistent double-digit growth in revenue and EPS, very strong free cash flow, that incredibly valuable debt-free balance sheet, giving them agility, leading digital platforms and store formats like Chipotlanes, and frankly, a proven management team that knows how to execute.
Those are definitely big positives. What holds it back from a 9 or 10?
Primarily the valuation and those operational risks we just discussed. The stock trades at a high valuation compared to its peers, a premium forward PE ratio. You're paying up for that expected growth.
So high expectations are already baked in.
To a large extent, yes. And then there's the ongoing dependency on those volatile commodity prices and labor availability. Those are persistent risks that can impact margins.
Okay, so based on that, who is this investment best suited for? Short-term trader.
Yeah.
Long-term holder.
I'd say it leans much more towards a long-term investment horizon. Short-term, after the strong run it's had, and heading into the next earnings report with that comp sales question still lingering, the upside might be somewhat limited. There's that consolidation pattern we saw in the technicals too.
But longer term.
For long-term investors, Chipotle offers what many look for: a best-in-class growth story in its sector, clear leadership in digital transformation, and that fortress balance sheet which provides a lot of resilience.
So the fundamental question for the listener becomes,
For you as a listener, does that potential for continued premium growth, fueled by innovation like drones and international expansion, does that outweigh the high price tag you have to pay today and those undeniable operational risks?
that really crystallizes the decision point. It's a compelling long-term story built on solid ground and exciting future plans, but it comes at a premium price and isn't without challenges. All right, well, that wraps up our analysis of the Chipotle sources you sent over. As a final thought for you to consider, with things like autonomous drone delivery and ambitious global expansion on the table, just how much faster can fast casual possibly get? And what could that disruption mean for the future of your own investments in this space?
Something to definitely think about.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this breakdown was helpful, and we look forward to exploring your next set of investment questions soon.